Today is day 36 of the farmers' protest. Yesterday, the centre and the farmers held the sixth round of discussion over the farm laws. A breakthrough could be expected in the next round of talks that are slated to take place on January 4. Today is the 36th day of the farmers' protest that's rocked the national capital and parts of the country, with farmers blocking the borders leading up to national capital. We've been seeing dramatic visuals coming in from Delhi, where the farmers have left no stone unturned when it comes to urging the government to repeal the farm laws. My colleague Shivani is live with us at 10 a.m. Shivani, sixth round of talks took place yesterday, 36th day of the farmers' protest today. A 50% breakthrough has been established. What is next in cards, as we're getting in news the next round of talks is slated to take place on the 4th of January?
Adhiraj, the breakthrough has still not been achieved here, though we saw that yesterday the sixth round of talks between the farmer unions and the government took place, and it was quite positive. As we've heard the Agriculture Minister, Narendra Singh Tomar, he said that we've reached the halfway has to be achieved. And I'm at the Singhu border, which has remained the epicenter of this protest since last 36 days. But as we know that the talks are also going to be held on 4th of January, but the farmers are not ready to budge, because they are prepared to stay here until the whole issue is sorted, as we've seen that in the last 36 days. How these farmers have been demanding on the repealment of the laws. And yesterday when we saw Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar and Minister Piyush Goyal talking to the farmers, and consensus has been made on the two issues, the stubble burning issue, the electricity issue, that no, the MSP will also be, the farmers had been demanding that the MSP should be included within the law. So Narendra Singh Tomar has given this assurance that it needs discussion, it needs to be worked out. So before the 4th round of talks, we see that the farmers still remain to be on the borders of national capital. We see thousands of farmers have been here. It's quite cold, but still the farmers are prepared. They say they will not budge until and unless the whole issue is sorted out. And the first agenda on their list is repealment of the laws. And we've seen how the government is trying hard to convince the farmers about the benefits, and it's also offering them the amendments on any issue which the farmers are not convinced about. But we are still seeing that the breakthrough has to be reached, the dialogue has to go on, and the farmers continue protesting on the national capital borders, as we see that people are welcoming the new year, but the farmers have continued to be here, and they say they might also celebrate the Republic Day on 26th of January if the solution is not found. Back to you, Adhiraj.
Right, all important developments there you're tracking for us, Shivani. Cutting across to my colleague Nalini, who's reporting live from the UP gate. Nalini, of course, yesterday led to some headway in the standoff between the union government and the farmers with the sixth round of talks that took place. As Shivani just apprised us also, regarding the MSP, stubble burning and electricity, some kind of breakthrough was achieved, which we can go over and say 50% of the breakthrough has been achieved. Seventh round of talks slated to be held on the 4th of January. My apologies. Do you think a final standoff will be achieved?
Well, yesterday's discussion between the farmer unions as well as the government was probably the most important so far, because for the first time we've actually seen some progress, some headway being made when it comes to a mutual resolution that both the farmer unions as well as the government can reach together, with at least 2 of the 4 points that were being brought to the table being decided on exactly what needs to what needs to be done further. But at the same time, the main demands of these farmers, the fact that all of these 3 laws should be repealed, is something that the government has not agreed to, which is essentially why they also put in their proposal in the form of amendments to these laws to try and convince the farmers to do away with their demand of repealing of these laws and get convinced with certain amendments that can be brought to try and accommodate the demands that they are having. But right now we're reporting from the UP-Delhi border, the Ghazipur border, and behind us you can see that the farmers are still here, determined. The setup, of course, has been solidified over here, considering the fact that it's been almost 40 days that the farmers have been lodged here at this very same place, trying to make sure that the government is heeding some sort of importance to their voice and to their demands. But at the same time, all of these farmer unions that are meeting the government are also trying to ensure that the demands of these farmers are met, so that in their interest also, all of these protests can be brought to an end as early as possible. Now, before yesterday's meeting, the MOS Som Prakash, who was part of this delegation on the government side, who's been part of these discussions with the government from the very beginning, had said that they would like for the farmers to go back home and spend New Year's with their family. But of course, that doesn't seem possible now, because the next round of talks is only scheduled for the 4th of January. So till the 4th of January, I think we can be convinced about the fact that the farmers are not going to budge from any of the 3 borders surrounding the national capital, where they have been lodged for the past 36 days. But at the same time, there is headway that is being made in these meetings between the farmer unions as well as the government. So hopefully we can go ahead and expect some sort of a fruitful result on the 4th of Jan when the next round of talks is scheduled.
Right, many thanks, Shivani and Nalini, both for tracking those latest developments coming in. We have now loomed into the 36th day of the farmers' protest, with 50% breakthrough that has been achieved. Next round of talks between the centre and the farmer union heads are slated for January 4th of next year.